10 reasons the G1 Climax is unmissable this year. On 17 July in Hokkaido, the 27th G1 Climax will kick off with a card headlined by Hiroshi Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. Over the next few weeks, the biggest stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling will battle it out and a winner will be decided at Sumo Hall on 13 August, earning themselves a shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. The biggest event in New Japan's calendar outside of the 4 January show, you only need to look at the G1's history to understand its importance. The past winners list reads like a Hall of Fame, and a big part of what pushed these men to success was the prestige of the G1. It's a tournament where excellence isn't desired but expected, as every man goes out there to one-up what has come before. Even last year's tournament could already be said to have made its mark on history, as Kenny Omega's win set up his already legendary feud with Okada. It was the spark that kick-started a year that has seen New Japan go from strength to strength, with the in-ring product being arguably the best in the world right now. If the one-upmanship is to continue, who knows what will happen this year. 10. Suzuki causing pain. Minoru Suzuki is a scary man, and after a couple of years off, 2017 sees him return to the G1. A co-founder of Pac Race, he was influential in the rise of MMA in Japan. The years have passed since then, but even as he hits 49, you probably don't want to start a fight with him. Whether he's twisting his opponents up in knots or beating up young lions, he takes a sadistic delight in causing as much pain as possible. On top of that, Suzuki is one hell of a wrestler and has had previous Wrestling Observer Match of the Year bouts with Hiroshi Tanahashi and Edge Styles. Unfortunately, despite being one of the many to have had an outstanding encounter with Okada this year, his return to New Japan has been characterized by shenanigans, as Suzuki Gun has interfered in nearly all his fights. This means Suzuki has some lost time to make up for, and you can bet he'll take pleasure in doing so. The only thing scarier than having the man with the worst personality in the world glaring at you is having him smile, as it guarantees you will soon be screaming. 9. The evolution of Juice. Back in 2015, the man then known as C.J. Parker took a gamble. He walked away from WWE and became Juice Robinson before entering New Japan as a young lion. Even if you ignore the grueling training, it was a risk, as there was no guarantee he would take off in Japan. 2 years later, Juice is cashing out on that bet. Ever since his Wrestle Kingdom match with Cody Rhodes, his value has been going up, up, up. New Japan has shown trust in him, and he has had high-profile matches with Hiroki Goto and Tatsuyuki Ito, both of which he came out of, even in defeat, looking better than he did going in. All of which leads up to this, his first G1. The odds are Juice won't be picking up many wins this year, but the fact he's included confirms his position as a New Japan guy. A talent they trust to go out there and represent the best this company has to offer. It's been one hell of a journey, but damn, the boy did good. 8. Big Mike throwing people around. A few years ago, Michael Elgin's career was going down the toilet. His Ring of Honor World Championship reign ended with a fizzle, and rumors suggested a falling out with the suits behind the scenes. Then he entered the G1 in 2015 and reminded everyone that he is one of the best big men in the business. Since then Elgin has gone from strength to strength, and he's now not just one of the best big men but one of the best full stop. He's become an important part of New Japan's roster, having reigns with both the Intercontinental title and the never open-weight six-man titles. Most importantly, though, he's really good at chucking folk about the place. Big Mark has several tasty matchups in this year's tournament, but you can bet whoever he is in the ring with his feats of strength will be impressive. The man can seemingly lift anything, and he does it with an ease which would be scary if it wasn't so entertaining. This is Elgin's third G1 in a row, and we can't wait to see him go to work. 7. The upsets. A lot of people are surprised to see both the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental champions in the G1. It seems strange to have the title holders compete in a tournament that gives the winner the right to challenge for the big one. However, their presence is essential to the way that New Japan books their programming, and it can set up the product for the rest of the year. Assuming the champs don't go undefeated and win the tournament, their presence gives New Japan the opportunity to set up matches for the future. Pin Okada or Tanahashi and you've proven yourself worthy of a chance at grabbing some gold. With both champions surrounded by incredibly talented wrestlers, this makes the G1 a teaser of what is to come. We could see the likes of Zack Sabre Jr. pick up huge wins and cement themselves as contenders in New Japan. How can you not get excited for that? 6. Omega vs Ibushi. When it was announced that Kota Ibushi, not Tiger Mask W, Ibushi's anime alter ego, would be entering this year's G1, there was one question on everyone's lips. Would we be getting Kenny Omega vs? Well, the blocks at least say no. The former tag team partners, who have been referencing each other in various ways for months, are not in the same group and won't be facing off. However, that opens up a whole new scenario. Could we be set for an Ibushi vs? It would undeniably be a big deal for the Golden Lovers to go head-to-head in the G1 final. They are two of the best wrestlers in the world, and the match would generate buzz. It all comes down to whether New Japan wants to have it now, or build it for the future. We'll all just have to tune in and find out. 5. All those matches. If you strip away all the bells and whistles, there is one simple reason to watch this year's G1. The 20 men in this tournament might just be the highest concentration of wrestling talent you will see in New Japan, or anywhere else. This is one stacked roster, and they are all capable of delivering the extraordinary. Even if we just take one wrestler and focus on their matches, we have several Match of the Year contenders. Let's look at Tetsuya Naito. Over the course of just under a month, he will face off against Kota Ibushi, Yoshihashi, Bad Luck Fale, Yuji Nagata, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., Togi Makabe, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. With one or two exceptions, those could all be incredible. And that's just one man's journey through the tournament. All those men have to face each other too, and we haven't even touched on Block B. If you love wrestling, then this is like being handed a plate to the buffet and being told to help yourself. It would be rude not to enjoy it. 4. Nagata's last run. After 18 consecutive participations and 1 win in 2001, Blue Justice Yuji Nagata has declared that this will be his final entrance into the G1 Climax. It's been one hell of a career, but at the age of 49, he is beginning to slow down. Much like Hiroshi Tenzan last year and Jushin Liger in the Best of the Super Juniors, Nagata has decided enough is enough. So, the question is, what does New Japan do with him? In Tenzan's final tournament he came out hot before falling away while Liger lost all of his matches aside from his last. Jado has shown an unwillingness to do the story of the elder statesman having one last run in him. However, that doesn't mean it couldn't happen this time, and maybe Nagata is the man to get that shine. Whatever New Japan decides, even now Nagata is a talent capable of performing on the big stage, and you can guarantee that he will be doing everything in his power to go out on top. 3. Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi is a funny chap. He seems to be as happy shooting fireworks at people and moonsaulting off roller coasters and DDT as he would be main eventing major shows. Since he returned to New Japan he's even been perfectly content to wrestle as Tiger Mask W, an anime character come to life. Thankfully, the G1 will finally give fans the moment they have been clamoring for ever since W popped up and hit a rather too perfect golden triangle moonsault. Ibushi is taking off the mask and wrestling as himself, and it promises to be one hell of a sight. Golden Star is not just a weird guy, he's also one hell of a wrestler, and while he'd be a risky bet to win the thing, you can guarantee he'll steal a few shows. What this means for the long-term future of Kota Ibushi in New Japan is unknown. He might return to his alter ego, or we might finally see him have a run as himself for the first time since he walked out in 2016. Either way, we've got him for a whole G1's worth of matches, and that is a call for celebration. 2. Zack Sabre Jr. enters Japan. Is the definition of excellence in technical wrestling. Love him or hate him, you can't help but admire the way the man works. Fortunately, since arriving in New Japan, he's had limited chances to show that off. Suzuki Gun's usual antics have seen his matches dissolve into shenanigans and we haven't got to see the master at work. Well, hopefully, the G1 is where that all changes. Having impressed in the US title tournament, he is being thrown in at the deep end. Marquee matches against Tanahashi, Naito, and Ibushi will either see him be gobbled up by the Sharks or come out a hero. Still a chance that Suzuki and CO will work as hard as possible to ruin these matches, but we should all cross our fingers and hope for the best. This is a chance for one of Britain's very best to go out and prove what we all know, that he belongs in Japan. Would you be crazy enough to bet against him stealing the show? 1. Okada vs Omega 3. A million words have been wasted trying to capture the magic that is Kazuchika Okada vs Kenny Omega, yet they never quite seem fitting. Twice now this year they have gone out and put on matches that blow the mind, which between them have racked up 12.25 of Dave Meltzer's normally frugal stars. While we all knew that the third time was coming, no one expected it this soon. And yet, on the final night of the G1, that's what we're getting. Title won't be on the line, and they'll only have 30 minutes, but it's still two of the best wrestlers in the world going face to face. So, what will they do? Is this where Omega picks up the win and sets up a third title shot? Or do they work another draw? It seems unlikely that Okada goes over, but even that's not impossible. There are countless ways this could play out, and right now we can only guess at the conclusion. Whatever happens, history suggests it will be incredible, and when the dust settles, it's all we will be talking about.